God, the pressure's too much. I just lost control of my bladder. Oh, why didn't I clothespin the end of my penis like Muriel told me to?
Saving a beautiful girl with CPR? Okay, I still laugh when I think about this. Season 4, Episode 3. You remember this one, right? The bowling alley, the acid urine, the absolute chaos. And then there's Quagmire. Oh, Quagmire. While Peter's busy comparing Lois to cake and the guys are making fun of Joe and his love for medals, Quagmire kind of vanishes. I didn't even think much of it the first time. But then we hear it, the infamous giggity giggity. That echo? Yeah, it's not just Quagmire being himself, it's him in the ladies' restroom, getting caught by Lois. And yeah, I know, not heroic, not yet. He gets arrested, Joe bails him out, the neighborhood's ready to evict him, and even a chicken throws hands with Peter over defending him. But here's where it turns. Peter and the guys actually want to help Quagmire fix himself. They get him to try resisting temptation with the Victoria's Secret Catalog Challenge. Dead kittens, nuns, old nuns, Renee Zellweger. Whatever it takes, and it works. Quagmire passes the test. He even passes Peter's trust test. Lois is skeptical, but Peter's confident. But this is Quagmire, and of course, the second his training wheels come off, he bolts right into a changing room. Typical, right? Except, this time, he finds a girl, and she's having a heart attack. I was ready for another Quagmire disaster, but no, he actually leaps into action. CPR style, except he doesn't even know what CPR means. But guess what? It works. He saves her life. A literal lifesaver moment. Everyone's stunned. Even the mayor shows up and gives him a golden key. So yeah, maybe the day started with a giggity in the wrong place, but it ended with Quagmire on the Wall of Fame. Hero moment? Absolutely.
That was amazing.
You saved her life.
Thank God you know CPR.
What the hell's CPR?
Taking down Sky terrorists, Quagmire style. This one's burned into my brain. Season 15, Episode 10. Quagmire shows up at the Drunken Clam wearing his pilot uniform, and you know Peter. He roasts him immediately. Marching band practice? Typical Peter stuff. But Quagmire just shrugs it off and surprises everyone. He's flying them to San Francisco. The trip starts off wild. Peter steals Lois's taxi, forgets the spa trip, and literally packs Meg's suitcase instead of his own. They're doing Segway tours, getting weird haircuts, and riding that Golden Gate energy until it's time to fly back. Then it happens. Armed hijackers take over the plane. Total chaos. They storm the cockpit, they knock out the co-pilot, and Quagmire has to lock himself in and figure out how to land the thing. And let me tell you, I've never seen him this serious. He tries to contact the tower, but signals are jammed. He uses backup comms, keeps cool under pressure, and even announces the view over Yosemite to calm the passengers. You know what that is? Pilot instincts. Navy instincts. Meanwhile, Joe and Cleveland try to fight back in the cargo hold, but get caught. The hijackers drag Peter to the cockpit and threaten to kill him if Quagmire doesn't surrender. And Peter, in a rare moment of actual bravery, tells him, "Don't open the door." I know, I was surprised too. Quagmire stays strong. Even when things get worse and the hijackers talk about crashing into Las Vegas, not just to kill Rita Rudner, RIP custard on the dumpling, but to flatten a hotel. That's when Quagmire pulls off some serious Top Gun action. He flips the plane, knocks the hijacker unconscious, and regains control. But guess what? The military thinks Quagmire's the bad guy because Peter's out there waving guns like it's Call of Duty. Fighter jets are incoming, and Quagmire dodges them. Missiles flying through the air, damage on one wing, and he still manages to emergency land that plane into a lake using fire retardant. He saves everyone. He even throws in a giggity while dumping the chemical foam. Classic.
What's your name, dude?
Meg Griffin!
3 o'clock, Friday. I will destroy you.
Training Meg to beat a bully. I love this one. Season 12, Episode 4. Meg spills lunch on Mike Pulaski and this tank of a guy, and he challenges her to a fight. Friday, 3 p.m., schoolyard justice. She's terrified, everyone's laughing, and I'm thinking, okay, Meg's doomed. But then Quagmire steps in. Yeah, Quagmire. Of all people, he offers to help her train. Why? Because he's been there. Flashback to the Coke Wars of 1986, high school cafeteria, RC Cola on the table, and Tracy Bellings dragging him by the collar. Quagmire knows bullying. and not just being bullied, being humiliated. So he decides to help Meg win. And let me tell you, the training montage is insane. He makes her kick a Peter mask, play old Nintendo games for reflexes, and even drink egg whites without the yolks. Then comes fight day. Mike is all over her, total domination, but Quagmire reminds her, use your strengths. And Meg kisses him, grossing him out. Then she weaponizes a pimple. Puss explosion. Mike starts throwing up. And finally, the grand finale, she lifts her shirt and shows him her entire body. Mike melts down, literally, runs away defeated. Meg wins, and it's all thanks to Quagmire. Sure, unconventional methods, but they worked. Heroic? You bet. But the real magic of this episode isn't just the win. It's how seriously Quagmire takes it. He doesn't treat it like a joke or a gag. For once, he's not making creepy comments or being inappropriate. He looks at Meg and sees someone who's never had anyone in her corner. And he becomes that person. The guy who trains her, motivates her, tells her she can do this even when she clearly doesn't believe it herself. He doesn't just train her physically, he teaches her how to own her weirdness, how to turn what everyone makes fun of into weapons. It's wild, yeah, but it's also kind of brilliant. And when Meg pulls off that win, Quagmire doesn't jump in for glory or attention. He stands quietly in the background, beaming. He doesn't need the spotlight. The fact that Meg now believes in herself is enough. I never thought I'd say this, but in that moment, Quagmire wasn't just a hero, he was a damn good mentor.
Midnight. Not a sound from the pavement. What? It's from cats, you idiot. Oh, word?
Brian!
The cat nanny who saved Meg from furry mind control. Okay, season 19, episode 19. This one goes off the rails fast. Meg adopts a cat named Pouncy. Cute at first, until Pouncy starts talking. Yeah, talking. To Stewie, to Brian, and eventually to Meg. Pouncy's got a plan, and it's not just about snuggles and tuna. She scratches Meg, infects her with toxoplasmosis, and brainwashes her into joining the feline cult. Meg starts pulling away from the family, gets weirdly obsessed, and even leaves a note that just says, meow. Brian freaks out. He wants to save her, but hits a wall. And guess who's been watching everything unfold? Quagmire, through security cameras. Because of course he has them. He's been tracking the whole thing and knows the only way to stop it is by replacing Meg as the cat's caregiver. He literally sacrifices himself. Meg tears up, hands him the fluffy cat sweater, and walks free. And Quagmire, he stays behind, covered in cats, living the nightmare. That's a real hero right there. But the thing is, it's not just that he stayed, it's everything else he did without saying a word. He knew exactly what would happen once he put on that sweater. He understood the mental toll. He didn't flinch. He didn't hesitate. He looked at Meg, saw that broken look in her eyes, and just made the decision. No speech, no drama, just quiet sacrifice. You could see how much it hurt him, the way he stood there while Meg walked away, eyes welling up but still smiling to keep her calm. Later, when Brian tried to check in, Quagmire was already surrounded. Dozens of cats, scratching, kneading, purring like little tyrants, and he just nodded, accepted his fate. This wasn't one of those fake sacrifices where he gets bailed out a scene later. No, he was in it. Full commitment. And the best part? He never used it to score points. Never said, hey, remember when I saved Meg from being mind-controlled by cats? Nope. Quagmire just went back to being Quagmire. Tired, covered in fur, and still somehow giggity. And that's why this one hit different. Under all that chaos, there's a real friend. A real hero. Saving Peter's manhood and marriage. Season 12, Episode 9, Peter's in a serious funk. He's unemployed, doing housework badly, and struggling to satisfy Lois. Yeah, it's a full-on no-boner situation. Lois tries to be supportive, but Peter's spiraling, embarrassed, hopeless. He even stays out drinking to avoid facing her. Quagmire finds out and decides, he's gonna fix it. He tries everything, from tough love shouting at Peter's junk to, well, literally taking control like a puppeteer. Yeah, I'm not even gonna explain that one. You already know. And it actually helps. Peter gets his confidence back, and with Quagmire's push, he goes to Angela, apologizes, and gets his job back. Then he goes straight to Lois. Everything's working again. And she's thrilled. All thanks to Quagmire being weird, relentless, and kind of gross, but still a good friend. Honorable mention, the forklift that almost helped. So technically this was Peter's moment, not Quagmire's, but I can't not bring it up. When Peter gets promoted to forklift operator, Quagmire thinks it's just another dumb gig. But then Peter lets Joe use it to walk again. Joe sees the top of a car for the first time. It's wholesome. Quagmire's reaction? Genuine joy. Not a joke, not a roast, he just smiles. For once, he's not thinking about giggities or girls or chaos. He's just happy for his friend. And it doesn't even stop there. When Peter starts lifting random things with the forklift, Quagmire doesn't bail or mock him. He sticks around. He even helps Peter set up that beer chugging stunt, just to see him happy again. When the whale incident happens, and oh man, that poor whale, Quagmire actually looks horrified. You could see it in his face, like, bro, what did you just do? But he stays. When Peter crashes the forklift into the office and gets fired, Quagmire helps him gather his things. No snark, just quiet support. He doesn't say, I told you so. He doesn't even bring up the fact that he predicted all of it. He just lets Peter process the failure, like he's channeling some inner Betty Crocker. I didn't even know he could cook. He sits with Peter, watches the worst movie ever made just to cheer him up, and even volunteers to watch Stewie so Peter and Lois can go to therapy. That moment alone, that's friendship. He doesn't make it about himself, doesn't try to score points, he just steps in and helps. And you know what? That's the kind of quiet background hero moment we don't talk about enough when it comes to Quagmire. So yeah, Glenn Quagmire, the walking HR violation, the eternal giggity machine, has actually saved lives, helped friends, mentored Meg, landed a hijacked plane, and even sacrificed his freedom for a brainwashed teenager and her evil cat. He's not perfect. He's definitely a mess. But sometimes, he's exactly the guy you want in your corner, especially if you're under attack, or under feline mind control. If you enjoyed this breakdown of Quagmire's most heroic and unhinged moments, make sure you hit that like button, drop a comment on your favorite good guy Quagmire scene, and subscribe for more epic Family Guy deep dives.